During the wedding ceremony, as we were about to exchange rings, my fiancé suddenly suggested a game of draw lots between me and her childhood friend, with the winner getting to marry her. Unsurprisingly, I lost. The wedding I'd spent half a year preparing became her wedding with Lucas, and my father had a heart attack right there and then. Just when I was at my lowest and most helpless, Paige, my childhood sweetheart, made a high-profile declaration of love, wanting to marry me and personally rushing my father to the hospital for emergency treatment. But a car accident happened on the way, and he couldn't be saved. I mourned for 3 years, and Paige took care of my company for me. Until, 3 years later, I accidentally unlocked her cell phone and heard a voice message she'd sent to her best friend. Paige, the truth will eventually come out. You deliberately caused that car accident, almost losing your life, all for Lucas. Is it worth sacrificing your entire life's happiness? What if Sean finds out the truth someday? As long as he's happy, I'm willing to do anything, even risk my own life. As for Sean, I can only make it up to him in the next life. It's only fair. My heart ached beyond words. I finally realized that she had only ever loved Lucas. I naively thought I was finding happiness, but it turned out to be nothing more than a carefully woven dream. The dream is shattered, and it's time to leave. 1. On the way to return Paige's cell phone, I input a string of numbers as if possessed, and it unlocked. The string of numbers was Lucas's birthday. After listening to her conversation with her best friend, my hands and feet turned cold. I unconsciously found myself standing in front of her corporation building. As soon as I entered, all eyes were on me, some filled with envy, some with jealousy. Paige was known throughout the city as an ice queen. Many outstanding men pursued her, but she dismissed them all, choosing me, the most inconspicuous, dust-like poor sun amidst the shining stars. At first, I thought I was blessed by the heavens, until I heard those voice messages, and I woke up from my dream. Paige's assistant saw me and tried to notify her, but I stopped her. Carry on with what you're doing. I'm just here to return her cell phone. The assistant kindly reminded me, Director Zoe is here as well. I understood immediately. Zoe was Paige's best friend, and she was the one who sent the voice message on the phone a couple of days prior. I was about to knock on the door when I heard Zoe raise her voice, sounding very agitated. Paige, stop deceiving yourself. Is it worth it to do this for that man? He and Fiona are so deeply in love, he doesn't have any room for you in his heart. Paige's voice was full of exhaustion. I don't care. Ever since I decided to help him, I've gone all in. As long as he's happy, everything I've done is worth it. Zoe was getting anxious. But is it fair to Sean? He could have been a carefree rich man, but because of your actions, Uncle Sean died, and he's become a homeless, pitiful person. Paige was silent for a few seconds, glanced at the photo frame on her desk, which was our first photo after we got married, and then said softly, he still has me, isn't that enough? I am sorry to him, but I'm trying my best to make up for it. Back then, the Sue family and the Lucas family were competing for the same major project, a project that would decide the Lucas family's survival. If I hadn't done that, the Lucas family would have gone bankrupt. With Chairman Sean's death, the Sue family was too busy to compete for the project, and Lucas, naturally, got his wish. There was a hint of pain in Paige's lonely voice. Zoe wanted to say something more, but Paige waved her hand. Did you come all the way here just to tell me this? Sean will be here later to return my cell phone. If he sees you, he'll get suspicious. You should go back now. Zoe could only sigh helplessly. The moment she walked out of the office and opened the door, she met my eyes. In that instant, I saw the shock on her face. Sean, what are you doing here? Have you been here long? I concealed the sadness in my eyes and forced a nonchalant smile. I just got here, I was about to go in, and you came out. Then what we were just talking about. I pretended not to understand. What were you talking about? Nothing. Zoe fled in a panic. Meeting Paige's eyes, she lowered her head guiltily. Why did you come so fast? I nodded. You said there were important documents on the cell phone, and I thought it must be urgent. Paige left her seat and moved closer to me, wrapping her soft arms around my neck. You can go find a place to sit down first. I'll come find you when I'm done. Oh, you like coffee, right? Have my cup. She held up the coffee and offered it to me. I took it and forced a smile. Okay, I'll wait for you in the lounge. After closing the door, my vision blurred, and I staggered, feeling dizzy all over. Those few minutes inside felt like an eternity. I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to resist questioning Paige about why she was so cruel to me. I originally thought my father's death was just an accident, but I never imagined that it was a long-planned scheme to help Lucas. Back then, Fiona's betrayal left me lonely and helpless. Paige's appearance made me think she was a straw I could grab before I drowned. Now I realize how naive I was back then. Her love for me was so overwhelming that it made others jealous, but only I knew that it was just compensation for her guilt. The bitterness of the coffee spread on my taste buds, but it was insignificant compared to the bitterness in my heart. 2. I went to the lounge. On the way, as I passed a small corner, I noticed that the door wasn't closed tightly. I was about to ignore it, but a huge photo wall immediately caught my attention. I walked in without anyone noticing. The dazzling array of objects pierced my eyes. The entire wall was covered with photos. Every photo had Lucas in it. Him studying hard. Him smiling. Him actively playing on the court. And him winning a championship in the swimming pool. Another wall was covered with medals and trophies, all the honors Lucas won during his university swimming competitions. I don't know why they were in this room. On a display stand, neatly arranged, were receipts. Donation receipts from charity events that Paige had been doing in Lucas's name over the years. In the center were more than a dozen Lucky Charms, each labeled with a year. She was doing so much just to bring Lucas good fortune. I finally remembered that Paige would always disappear for a few days at a fixed time each year. Now I understand that she was going to temples to pray for Lucas. During all our years of marriage, she never got me a Lucky Charm. But for Lucas, she did it every year without fail. My heart suddenly clenched, and even my breathing became rapid. But what caught my attention the most was an inconspicuous corner where a small notebook was casually placed. I opened it and saw a series of familiar characters, elegant and generous. It recorded the exact time, even down to the second. It recorded the first time Paige and Lucas met in college. The first time they held hands. The first time they kissed. The first time she felt heartbreak. The first time she was drunk for 7 days and 7 nights because Lucas was getting married. What Lucas liked to eat and what he liked to do was all listed in detail. Every stroke hid her implicit love. I tried to flip to the end, but there was no mention of my name, not even half a sentence. The diary in my hand suddenly became very heavy. After taking photos, I walked out of the room, holding onto the wall, gasping for air. The blurred vision finally cleared, and I picked up my cell phone and made an international call. Sister, I'm planning to go abroad. Dad always said he wanted to travel around the world, right? I'm planning to make his wish come true. My sister, who was overseas, heard the loneliness in my voice and was silent for a few seconds. Brother, did you and Paige have a fight? She's so good to you, you should be more accommodating. I didn't explain too much. My sister sighed. Okay, whatever you decide, I'll support you. After Dad died, the Sue family's assets plummeted. Paige transferred all the Sue family's business to me some time ago. I plan to transfer the assets overseas, and when you come back, I'll give everything back to you. However, the asset liquidation will take 3 days. I'll pick you up at the airport in 3 days. I nodded in agreement. Okay, I'll buy a plane ticket for 3 days from now. After hanging up, I heard the sound of high heels from behind. Paige wrapped her arms around my waist from behind, rested her chin on my shoulder, and smiled sweetly. Plane ticket? What are you buying a plane ticket for? I casually made up an excuse to get by. My sister just called me and said she was planning to buy a plane ticket to come back and visit me. Paige was very happy to hear that. That's great, I haven't seen sister in a long time, I can catch up with her. She came in front of me and placed my hand on her lower abdomen and rubbed it. Honey, you've always wanted a child, right? Tonight, let's not use protection. I was stunned. In 3 years of marriage, I've suggested having children no less than 99 times, but she always refused, citing concerns about her figure. Even our sex life has been rare. But this time, she surprisingly took the initiative. Before I could think too much, she grabbed my hand and walked to the restaurant amidst envious glances. "I'm hungry, let's eat here, okay?" I didn't refuse and sat down across from her. Paige didn't show me the menu at all. When the food was served, she saw me frowning and asked with concern, "What's wrong? Don't you like the food?" I looked at the shrimp soup in front of me, and a chill ran rough my heart. I'm allergic to seafood and can't eat anything related to it. Once, because of her negligence, she put shrimp in the soup, and I had to be rushed to the hospital, nearly dying. But I didn't expect her to forget completely. Lucas is also allergic to seafood, but she remembers it clearly. Maybe in her heart, I've never been someone she needs to care about. She doesn't care about my life or death. I ate a few bites casually. Paige said she was busy with corporation affairs and told me to continue eating while she eagerly left. As soon as she left, I immediately called the Su family's legal counsel. Attorney Wang immediately drafted a divorce agreement for me, yes, a clean break. Also, help me investigate what happened between the Su family and the Lucas family on the day of my father's car accident 3 years ago. It's time to end our hypocritical love. 3. The next day, a piece of news was plastered all over my cell phone. I curiously opened it and learned that there would be a charity gala in the city tonight. The gala itself wasn't anything special, but what was most interesting was that an extremely precious international exhibit would be on display. It was a one-of-a-kind diamond called Eternal Love. The diamond was priceless, but it couldn't compare to the significance of its name. I thought this had nothing to do with me, but in the evening, I received a call from Paige. "Honey, dress up nicely tonight. Your wife is taking you to a charity gala. I'll pick you up." An hour later, Paige sent a driver to pick me up. When I arrived at the charity gala, I found that she was already there. She was wearing a deep V dress, bright and charming, attracting admiring glances from many men. Just as I was about to go over, I saw her talking to someone. The person was none other than Lucas. "Long time no see, you're still so beautiful." Lucas's compliment made her blush slightly. "What about you? How are you doing after getting married?" Lucas's expression was unclear. He just looked at her faintly, the ambiguity in his deep eyes undisguised. "I'm fine. Fiona is pregnant, we're very happy." Paige forced a smile, and I caught a faint sadness in her eyes from afar. I gripped the wine glass in my hand tightly, feeling a pang of indescribable bitterness in my heart. Just then, others noticed Paige and Lucas and began to praise them. "Isn't that handsome man Miss Paige's husband? What a talented and beautiful couple. Who says otherwise? One is gentle and virtuous, the other is handsome and talented. They're the most well-matched couple I've ever seen. Rumor has it that Miss Paige spoils her husband, and seeing it today, it's indeed true." Paige was secretly delighted to hear the comments, but the next moment, she locked eyes with me and was stunned. As I turned to leave, Paige hurriedly chased after me. "Sean, wait." She lifted her long dress and ran in front of me amidst surprised glances, looking very nervous as she explained. "Sean, why did you walk away when you saw me? Was it because I was talking to other men that made you unhappy? I promise I won't do it again, okay? You know, Mr. Lucas is an important client of our corporation. We were just exchanging pleasantries, don't misunderstand." Looking at her clarifying gaze, I smiled wryly. If I hadn't seen everything in that mysterious room, I might have been fooled by her convincing performance. "Paige, love can be open, aboveboard, and earth-shattering, so why hide it so painstakingly? You like him, I can let you have him." During my silence, Lucas walked over, looking at me with a smirk. "Sean, how can you bear to let such a beautiful woman chase after you in front of so many people? You're a man. Men should be more generous, don't be so petty." His teasing tone made the people around him laugh, and others looked at me like I was a clown. His usual grace made me look even more pathetic. Paige just stood there quietly, without the slightest intention of helping. Me out. At that moment, I suddenly felt relieved and smiled slightly. What's wrong, Director Lucas? Did you steal my ex-fiancée before, and now you're eyeing my current wife? As soon as I said this, Lucas's face changed drastically. Seeing the people around pointing and gossiping, he glared at me and left angrily. Paige cried out anxiously, Sean, how can you slander Mr. Lucas like that? Go catch up with him and apologize. I gave her a cold look, and Paige was stunned before she realized she had lost control. Sean, don't misunderstand, I'm doing this for your own good. The Lucas family is different now, you'll have a hard time if you offend him. I didn't care. He messed up my wedding and stole my fiancée back then. From that moment on, I've been at odds with him. Paige wanted to say something more, but I turned and left, going to a deserted corner to be alone. She looked at my back, hesitant to speak, but in the end, she didn't chase after me. Through the crowd, I saw that she had already forgotten what had just happened and was chatting and laughing with Lucas. In the past 3 years, the Sue family's corporation, under her management, has not only not grown, but has been getting worse. And the Lucas family's corporation, as its rival, has come back to life and is thriving, secretly reaching multiple collaborations with the Coe family. The Sue family now is no longer the giant that almost bankrupted the Lucas family back then. Perhaps that's what you, Paige, want to see the most? In this way, Lucas transformed from a down-on-his-luck rich second generation into a high-spirited young master. While I was lost in thought, I heard a lively shout, and the auction finally began. Listening to the bidding, I drank my wine gloomily until I heard someone cheering. The diamond has been auctioned off. A winning bid of 100 million. Who's such a big spender? That's a one-of-a-kind, limited edition treasure. I heard it's someone from the Lucas family. Really? ICLE. Arlie saw Miss Paige making the bid. Hearing this, I paused and smiled self-deprecatingly. Paige was indeed making a big gesture to please Lucas. This charity gala was no longer meaningful to me. After staying for half an hour, I prepared to leave. Just then, someone called my name. Mr. Sean, Miss Paige is looking for you, by the swimming pool. I went to the swimming pool suspiciously, but I didn't see Paige at all. I only saw Lucas looking at me with a playful expression. Loser, Fiona dumped you and came to me, and even your wife, Paige, is trying her best to curry favor with me. See this diamond? Paige gave it to me, 100 million. What about you? What did she give you? He shook the glittering diamond in his hand, seeming to show off to me. I thought about it seriously and shook my head. Indeed, in the past few years, Paige has given me very few things, mostly gifts without any meaning. It was as if giving me gifts was just to complete some task. How sad. For, I didn't want to pay attention to him and was about to leave, but after seeing the smirk on Lucas's face, a bad feeling arose in my heart. Lucas's eyes went over my shoulder, seeing a group of people rushing over urgently. The next second, he shouted, Sean! You can't steal my diamond. Ah! He reached out and dragged me into the pool with him. Lucas! At the moment of falling into the water, I saw Paige's terrified expression calling Lucas's name. I've been a landlubber since I was a child and can't swim at all. While struggling in the water, I called out to Paige for help. She looked at me anxiously. I thought she would have people save me first, until I clearly heard her calling out, Save Lucas first. Hurry! At that moment, I suddenly had the urge to give up on trying to survive. The cold pool water filled my mouth and nose, I couldn't breathe, and my consciousness began to blur. At the last moment of my consciousness sinking, I thought sadly that Lucas was a swimming champion, while I couldn't swim all. Didn't Paige know that? She knew very well, but she didn't want to take risks, even if the possibility of Lucas drowning was only 0.0001%. When I woke up again, it was the next day. I was in my bedroom, and there was no one around. I took a breath, and my chest was throbbing with pain. I called out for a long time, but no one responded. I picked up my cell phone and saw all the messages Paige had sent. Honey, the doctor said you only had a slight drowning and are fine. Take good care of yourself. When you recover, I'll take you out for a walk, okay? She didn't mention a word about why she saved Lucas first. Just as I was about to put down my cell phone, a piece of news popped up. Paparazzi had secretly photographed Paige and Lucas having a private meeting at a hotel, changing his wet clothes for him and making him ginger soup. She even used her own body to warm him up. Everything she did made her seem like a more dutiful wife than Fiona. I ignored it and struggled to get out of bed. Enduring the pain in my chest, I rummaged through the boxes and threw all the photos of me and Paige over the years into an iron basin and burned them. The albums on my cell phone were also completely emptied. Then, I had a cleaning service come over to clean up my belongings. In the middle of it, I received the divorce agreement from the lawyer. I printed it out, signed it, and placed it on the table. He also sent me some information, which showed that the Lucas family and the Sue family were competing for a major project at the time. I also printed out the information. I used my connections to go to the traffic police brigade and retrieve all the videos from all corners of the accident site on the day of Paige's car accident 3 years ago. Then, I put dozens of photos and videos of the small room I had taken earlier on a USB drive and placed it with the divorce agreement. In addition to that, I also had someone retrieve the surveillance footage near the swimming pool at T. He Charity Gala and made the truth of that night public. After doing all this, I dragged my luggage out of the house and headed to the airport. On the way, Paige suddenly sent a message. "Honey, have you seen the rumors online? Don't believe them, they're just paparazzi taking sneaky photos out of boredom, taking things out of context and distorting the facts. I went to take care of Lucas because everyone thought you pushed him into the swimming pool. I was trying to plead with Lucas on your behalf, otherwise you would have to face a charge of murder." Seeing the message, I felt nothing and simply blacklisted Paige and everyone else, including Lucas. At the Co Corporation building, Paige was constantly staring at her cell phone. When she saw the secretary come in, she asked, "Has Mr. Sean called the corporation?" The secretary shook her head. "No, Mr. Sean knows you're busy. In the past, he would call the front desk every day before noon, asking me to remind you to eat and rest on time, but today, it seems." Paige frowned, seemingly feeling that something was unusual today as well. Logically speaking, he should have woken up long ago. Forget it, he's not a child anymore, don't worry about him. How's the public relations going? Make sure Lucas isn't affected. He's currently on the candidate list for the top 10 young talents, which is a very important honor for him. The secretary hesitated and finally couldn't help but say, "Chairman, is it fair for you to treat Mr. Sean like this? How heartbroken would he be if he found out later?" Paige gripped her hands tightly, feeling sad. "This is the last thing I'll do for Lucas. After he receives the honor of being one of the top 10 young talents, I'll step down to the second line and wholeheartedly be a good wife and mother to Sean. Oh, arrange for me to transfer all 50% of the shares in the Co Corporation that I own to Sean." The secretary nodded and was about to leave when the office door was suddenly pushed open. Chairman, the logistics department just received a text message saying. Seeing the person's flustered and stammering appearance, Paige's heart sank. "What is it? Speak." "Mr. Sean, he bought a plane ticket and boarded the plane." 5. Paige couldn't sit still any longer and suddenly stood up. "What did you say? Sean, he boarded the plane? Are you sure he's not going to pick someone up?" She remembered the matter of the plane ticket that Sean mentioned on the phone a few days ago. The head of the logistics department quickly confirmed and then handed the cell phone to Paige. "Chairman, look, this is Mr. Sean's plane ticket order information. His cell phone number is linked to the corporation's ticket booking channel. He'll receive a reminder when he buys a ticket and boards the plane." Paige was still in a daze. She couldn't figure out why Sean would leave without saying goodbye. She tried making several calls, but all she heard was a cold, busy tone. She knew that Sean had blacklisted her. As Paige was feeling anxious, Lucas walked into the office without knocking. "What's wrong? Why do you all look so worried?" The secretary knew that Paige liked Lucas, so she didn't hide anything. "Director Lucas, our Mr. Sean bought a plane ticket and went abroad." Lucas's eyes flashed with a strange light after hearing that. "Sean and I have known each other since college. He's always been so unreliable. He's been such a failure for more than a decade, always making people worry. Don't worry about him, it's just the same old trick. He did the same thing when he was dating Fiona. He'll be back obediently in a few days. Hearing him openly criticizing Sean, the people present frowned, and Paige became even more upset. All right, the most important thing is to find him. I'm going home. She still didn't believe that Sean would go abroad alone, because in her memory, Sean never left her for more than 24 hours. Moreover, Sean's father's ashes were still in the country. Lucas quickly volunteered. I'll drive you. Paige didn't think too much. She was in a terrible mood at the moment and it wasn't a good idea for her to drive, so she didn't refuse. She was going to sit in the back seat, but when she saw Lucas proactively open the passenger door for her, she felt embarrassed to refuse. After getting in the car, her heart was restless. A feeling of anxiety lingered in her heart, and she couldn't shake it off. She had never been so afraid before, as if she was about to lose something. Lucas was driving very slowly. He glanced at Paige in the passenger seat and realized that she seemed even more charming today. Especially seeing her wearing black stockings on her long legs, which added a touch of sexiness to her seriousness, making his throat constrict. He couldn't help but reach out a hand, but Paige was lost in thought and didn't notice it at all. It wasn't until Lucas's hand became more and more presumptuous that she woke up. Don't touch me. Lucas's hand didn't stop and instead smiled ambiguously. Paige, there's no one else in the car right now. Paige wasn't in the mood at all and directly pushed his hand away. You're a married man. Please respect yourself. Seeing Paige get angry, Lucas laughed sheepishly. When the car arrived downstairs, Paige couldn't wait to rush home, and Lucas followed closely behind, constantly nagging. Paige, you don't have to be so nervous. You know what that trash is like. The more nervous you are about him, the more he'll take advantage of you. My suggestion is to let him mess around and he'll naturally come back when he's tired of it. He thought that this sentence would get Paige's approval, but she glared at him coldly. Lucas, I'm warning you, Sean is my husband. If you insult him like that again, don't blame me for being rude to you. Lucas wanted to say something more, but Paige suddenly stopped. Go back first, I'll contact you later. Lucas was a little unwilling, but Paige's gaze was terrifyingly cold, so he had to leave reluctantly. Watching his departing figure, Paige's eyes filled with disappointment and regret. She finally understood what her best friend, Zoe, meant when she said he wasn't worth it. However, she was too anxious to find Sean to dwell on it. Arriving at her doorstep, she suddenly stopped, as shy as a new bride entering her bridal chamber. She had never felt this way before, and for the first time, coming home was something she looked forward to. She even wondered what she should do when she saw Sean. Give him a kiss, a hug, or even fulfill her previous promise of having children with him? The thought made her cheeks burn. She still refused to believe that Sean would leave her. Opening the door, she called out softly a few times. Honey, where are you? But when she opened the door and stepped inside, she was completely dumbfounded. The house was as pristine as a new home, but even though the layout and decor were unchanged, something felt off. Cold, a very unfamiliar feeling. It wasn't until she realized that there wasn't a single trace of Sean's life in this house. The flowers he planted, his favorite teacup, his books, all vanished as if overnight. Even the wedding photos on the wall had been taken down, as if nothing had ever hung there. Paige completely panicked, and without taking off her high heels, she rushed into the house, searching everywhere. Honey, don't hide. I don't like playing hide-and-seek. Paige searched every room, even carefully looking under the drawers where someone could hide, but she couldn't find Sean anywhere. The heel of one of her high heels broke, and she twisted her ankle, but she ignored the pain and stubbornly searched again. It wasn't until she discovered that Sean's suitcase was gone that she was sure he had really left. Honey, where are you? She made over a dozen calls, but none of them went through. Frantic, she called her secretary, sending everyone out to search, looking everywhere and might have gone. Exhausted from searching, Paige collapsed on the sofa. It was then that she noticed the things on the table. A craft paper bag, a stack of documents, and a USB drive. Trembling, she picked up the USB drive, plugged it into the computer, and burst into tears when she saw the contents. Honey, you had already discovered what was in that room, you've been hurting for days, but pretended everything was fine in front of me. Weeping, she opened the video and her heart suddenly constricted when she saw the scene of the accident 3 years ago. She finally realized that her role in Sean's father's death had been exposed. Holding the thick stack of documents in her hands, Paige was filled with regret. When she opened the craft paper bag and saw the words divorce agreement, she could no longer suppress her remorse and sobbed. Honey, I'm so sorry. The next day, a video went viral online. In the video, Lucas's provocative words to Sean were captured on camera. The sob story he orchestrated also appeared in the video. The comments section was filled with outrage. So disgusting. That son of a bitch is acting out an imperial court drama. I feel sorry for that guy named Sean. Not only was he falsely accused, but that bastard dragged him down and almost drowned him. The most disgusting thing is that stupid woman, Lucas, the green tea man, was provoking, but she only cared about saving her lover, leaving her husband to struggle in the water. Outraged netizens relentlessly condemned the Liu family and the Ko family online, causing the Ko family's stock to plummet instantly. Even many of their industries were affected. To quell public anger, the Ko family's upper management had to make the decision to cancel all cooperation with the Liu family and investigate all non-compliant contracts. Even Paige, the chairman, was temporarily removed from her position. But Paige had already lost all interest in running the business. She found her best friend, Zoe, seeking advice. Zoe, what should I do? Sean has really left me. I should have listened to you. I regret it so much now. She cried and cried, her eyes red and swollen. Zoe sighed helplessly. What's done is done, crying won't help. The most important thing now is to think about how to get Sean back. You caused his father's death. Even if he doesn't hold you legally responsible, there's probably no hope of him coming back. Paige cried, clutching Zoe's sleeve. I'm willing to pay any price, as long as he comes back. I'm willing to go to jail. Zoe, after this night, I've thought it all through. I always thought I was deeply in love with Lucas, but it wasn't until Sean left that I realized the person I love is actually him, not Lucas. I was just blinded by my own obsession and couldn't see it. Zoe felt sorry for her. Actually, I advised you to think twice because I saw this all along, but you didn't listen in the end. Paige was about to say something when she heard arguing outside. Director Lucas! You really can't go in. Director Ko is in a meeting. Lucas pushed the secretary out of the way. Get out of my way. I have to see Paige today. I want to ask her why she canceled the cooperation with the Liu family. Why did she determine that the contracts between the Liu family and the Ko family were non-compliant and should be punished? The secretary sarcastically retorted, Director Lucas, if Director Ko hadn't secretly intervened, do you think your broken company would be qualified to cooperate with the Ko family? Director Ko was even willing to give more money to take care of your Liu family's business, but don't be ungrateful. Lucas's face darkened, and he ignored the secretary and rushed into the office. Paige, you're here. Perfect. Explain what's going on. Looking at Lucas's frantic appearance, Paige's disappointment turned into despair. Once upon a time, she thought Lucas was a handsome, calm, and collected man, but now she truly saw his true colors. She suddenly thought of Sean. He had experienced betrayal from his fiancée and the death of his father, but he was not defeated and did not become decadent. He even turned around and cared for her, often reminding her to eat 3 meals a day and maintain a regular schedule. Why hadn't she seen his good qualities back then? She really regretted it. Say something. Lucas's shout brought Paige back to her senses. But instead of an explanation, she slapped him across the face. Lucas was stunned, looking incredulous. In his mind, Paige was gentle and generous, and spoke in soft, gentle tones. How could she have changed so much today? Paige's eyes were cold. Lucas, I've done everything I could for you. If you keep bothering me, don't blame me for being rude. Lucas didn't want to pretend anymore, pointing outside with a sneer. I've known for a long time that you specially set up a room in the corporation building, filled with things about me. I know you've always had a crush on me, so I didn't refuse when someone offered a high price for my trophies. I also know that you secretly pray for lucky charms for me every year, but you hide them yourself because you're afraid Fiona will find out. You clearly love me, so why have you become so heartless? Mentioning that mysterious room was like a thorn in Paige's heart. It was because of that room that Sean left. She firmly replied to Lucas, yes. I did like you, but now I don't like you anymore. The only person I love is my honey, Sean. Lucas didn't believe it at all. Impossible. How could you like that good-for-nothing? Paige originally wanted to be polite, but she couldn't bear it any longer when Lucas repeatedly insulted Sean. Security! Throw him out! If he dares to harass me again, call the police. Soon, the security guards dragged the screaming Lucas out. Zoe was silent for a long time before saying, Paige, there's one more person who might know Sean's whereabouts, his sister. Paige suddenly realized. Addition, how could I not have thought of that? I'll call sister right away. After getting through to Sean's sister, Paige was eager to ask about Sean's whereabouts, but her sister's reply filled her with despair. Although I don't know what happened between you two, my brother didn't have a smile on his face when he came over. It's too late to find him now. Early this morning, he bought a plane ticket from me and took our dad's ashes to travel around the world. As for where he's going, I don't know. Hanging up the phone, Paige hugged Zoe and cried her heart out. While Paige was offering a huge reward to find me all over the world, I was sitting in a hot air balloon, holding my dad's ashes and overlooking the exotic scenery. Dad loved watching penguins, so I joined an expedition team to the Arctic. This journey, although arduous, was very fulfilling. I didn't have much time to be negative. Every day, I looked forward to a different life and different scenery. Through one journey after another, I gradually found the meaning of life. Paige's figure had long disappeared from my heart. In that year, I traveled all over the world, which was the happiest time of my life. Returning to my sister's house, she couldn't help but cry when she saw that I had been completely transformed. Brother, why does your trip feel like a pilgrimage? You've lost so much weight. I smiled and replied, life is originally a pilgrimage. Isn't the meaning of travel to redeem oneself? Besides, I fulfilled Dad's dream. After resting for a few days, my sister suddenly came to me. Dad always told us that it's important to return to your roots, and that after death, his ashes must be buried next to Mom's grave. Find some time to go back and settle Dad's ashes. Also, sister has arranged a blind date for you. The girl is pretty good. If you're interested after you return to the country, you might as well meet her. She'll pick you up at the airport. I gladly agreed. Soon, I returned to the country without alarming anyone. But the moment I got off the plane, a familiar figure blocked my way. She looked surprised when she saw me. Sean, is that you? Standing in front of me was Paige. The difference was that before we parted, she was stunning and arrogant. Meeting again, she looked 10 years older, her skin was sagging, her dark circles were heavy, and her originally fair face was covered with dark spots. Even though she deliberately applied foundation, she still couldn't hide the haggardness on her face. Although I didn't know how she knew I was coming back, I still smiled calmly. It's Ms. Coe. How have you been? My relaxed tone and indifferent expression stunned Paige. It seemed that everything was different from what she had imagined. She thought that after our long separation, I would cheer and hug her. Sean, you still hate me, don't you? I'll say I'm sorry, okay? You can vent your anger on me, beat me or scold me, I'll take it all. But I shook my head. What's the point? There's no love between you and me, so what's there to hate? Ms. Coe, you're a busy person, so I won't bother you. Besides, I have things to do, so please excuse me. Just as Paige was about to catch up, someone called my name. Sean! I'm here! I was very surprised to see who it was. How is it you, Rachel? Rachel was the daughter of my dad's former secretary. My dad had always tried to match us up, but I was with Fiona at the time, so I rejected the marriage. Rachel affectionately took my arm and looked at me sideways. Of course, it's me. Sister asked me to pick you up. Seeing us so close, Paige's eyes were filled with jealousy. Sean, who is she? I directly told her, this is my girlfriend, Rachel. Paige's pupils dilated, her face full of disbelief. Impossible. I'm your wife, how can you be with another woman? Rachel and I had great chemistry, and after looking at my eyes, she knew what I wanted to do. She tightly took my arm, looking at Paige as if declaring her posse. Cyan. Humph. So you're the woman who hurt Sean, how dare you say that? Your actions are well known, do you have no shame? Paige ignored her and grabbed my hand directly. Honey, did you deliberately find her to make me jealous? I broke free from her hand and replied in a very affirmative tone. Don't flatter yourself, we're divorced, and you and I are already in the past. Okay, I'm going to see a movie with my girlfriend, don't bother us. I got into Rachel's car, and Paige desperately pounded on the car window. Honey, I know you still love me. You're only doing this to make me angry. I'm not angry. Please come back. I'll make you lots of delicious food. I'll give birth to many, many children for you. Please come home with me. Honey, open the door and let me say a few words. Her pleas gradually turned into sobs, but my car gradually accelerated, leaving her behind. In the rearview mirror, Paige staggered and fell to the ground, looking very disheveled. She crawled after the car, crying her heart out. Seeing this, I was very calm. Rachel drove the car, looking at me through the rearview mirror, and tentatively asked, Sean, what you said earlier about me being your girlfriend, was that true? I smiled slightly. Of course, it's true. Are you willing? I am. After staying in the country for half a year, Paige tried every possible way to find me, but I didn't give her a chance at all. Eventually, she gave up. From the time I went abroad to the time I returned to the country, a year and a half had passed. Because of that cyberbullying incident, the Liu family once again became depressed. Lucas was hiding because he owed a lot of money. The Cove family wasn't doing any better. Competitors took the opportunity to suppress them, and the Cove family was now in dire straits. Rachel and I reached the point of discussing marriage. We agreed to get married in the country and then settle abroad after the wedding. The wedding day was very festive, with many relatives and friends in attendance. But when it came time to exchange rings, there was a small interruption. A fire broke out outside the wedding venue, but fortunately, the fire truck and ambulance arrived quickly, and the incident was quickly extinguished, so I didn't pay too much attention. It wasn't until a week after the wedding that Zoe came to find me. Sean, I'm very sorry about your uncle, and I apologize for the stupid things Paige did. This cell phone is Paige's last belonging, and there's a video inside that she wanted to say to you. Hearing the words last belonging, the hand holding my coffee cup trembled involuntarily. After Zoe left, I opened Paige's cell phone. This time, the password wasn't Lucas's birthday, but the date of our wedding. Sean, when you see this video, I may no longer be around. I regret it so much. I regret that it was too late when I realized I had fallen in love with you. When I heard that you were getting married, I was heartbroken, but also happy for you. I found out that Lucas and Fiona were resentful towards you and planned to take revenge on you on your wedding day, so I decided to die with them as atonement. In the video, Lucas and his wife carried a bucket of gasoline and appeared at the entrance of the wedding venue. Paige rushed up, kicked over the gasoline bucket, and set it on fire on the spot. Lucas and Fiona wailed in the fire, but Paige looked calmly at the camera. I put away the cell phone, walked out of the coffee shop, and threw the cell phone into the river as I passed by. Looking at the sparkling river, I looked up at the blue sky. The sky was very blue, and the future was bright.